Well, hey there, Realm family. Welcome back to the Realm of History. Tonight we got the special live review for Chapter 15, which is on African societies, empires, kingdoms, trans-Saharan trade, Indian Ocean trade, all those good particulars there. Obviously, we have the quiz tomorrow, so we're looking to get ready for that. A couple of key things. If you are here, please check in with me in the comments section. Let me know that you're here. Always like to see that. Number two, hey, we're really close to the goal. I had set a goal to make it to 1,000 subscribers. I'm at 993. Just checked before this live stream happened. So just 7 subscribers away from the big goal. Appreciate all of you for helping me out there. That'd be really something fulfilling to get to. Been working on it for about 5-6 years now. So it's been a nice road, and hopefully we can get to that goal soon. Also, I have a poll going. There was a 3-way tie on the review game today, and there were a lot of people upset, thinking that they might not get the point. So I decided to put it on an Instagram poll. So if you go to the Realm of History, you have a chance to vote there. I'm going to close the voting as soon as this meeting ends. I'll post the results there, and we'll see what happens. It's a close race right now. Okay. The live agenda tonight, what we're going to be doing. First of all, some key advice, like always, the most important part to me. Number 2, we'll do some key terms, some key figures, some key concepts. We'll have a little bit of AP advice, then go into question and answer session. Here's our key advice for tonight. I think you should write some things down from this session. Most of my students who take notes on the sessions, they do really well. They match it up with what they have on the review sheet. Number 2, as we talked about in class today, and we talk about always, make sure that you read through your outline notes. Don't forget, there were printed notes at the end of section 2. Those will be very helpful. And of course, use your review sheet. Utilize your review sheet to quiz yourself to make sure that you're ready for tomorrow's assessment. You know it's going to be a challenge. I always do try to do my best to challenge you in certain ways. Number 2, pray for the right things, right? Remember, a lot going on in the world. So I wouldn't suggest praying for success on this quiz. Rather, please understand that, there's so many more important things that you should focus on. Pray for the health and safety of your family. Pray for your health and safety. I think it's valid to ask the good Lord for guidance, right? To use your talents to the fullest. That's what I would say. That's important. And I also think you should say the prayer of gratitude. I'm not sure about Thursday's Mass today, but I know on Wednesday, Father at Mass talked about making sure you thank 3 people, right? And having the attitude of gratitude. We always talk about that in our live review sessions, making sure that you're expressing gratitude, not only to the good Lord, but those important people in your life as well. So pray for the right things. Make sure you're using your talents to the fullest. Number 3, the trademark of the realm, be here now, right? Tomorrow, when you come into the realm, pop in history, right? When you leave the realm, pop history out, think about whatever you want. But when you get to your next class, transition, pop in English, pop in math, pop in chemistry, whatever it is. But make sure that you be here now. You're focused on the task at hand. Number 4, if you have to stop what you're doing right now, go say thank you to your parents, right? Make sure you thank them for everything that they've done for you. Express gratitude to them. I think that's really a piece of important advice that I can say. The most important asset for you, the most important commodity for you right now in life is time. And time is limited. So make sure you take advantage of this time to express gratitude to your parents or your loved ones, so on and so forth. Next, and final key advice, meet the challenge, right? You know that anytime there's an assessment or a quiz, it's going to be a challenge, especially in AP. There's a lot to get ready for. You've got the AP part, you got MCQs, SAQ questions. You know that an SAQ is going to require you to write 3 paragraphs at a minimum. So, you have to be ready. You have to know your stuff. And so you want to rise to the occasion. Don't shy away from challenges. Remember, we said first day, challenges are good. Challenging things make us stronger, prepare us for the future. So embrace the challenge. Don't be a Skipper McGee, right? The worst thing you could do is be a Skipper McGee. You might qualify for version 3. Just saying. Just saying, and that rhymed, huh? Yeah, something like that there. Okay, now we're going to get right into the key terms, figures, concepts, so on and so forth. So the first one today that we have, stateless societies, right? Stateless societies are areas of control that do not have a centralized form of government. They're usually led by lineage groups, right? Those are those family network systems. Therefore, power is more spread out, and conflict is settled through negotiations and discussions among these key family members. Moving on down to a language type, and that's going to be Swahili. Remember, Swahili was a language developed as a mixture of Arabic and, I make a mistake there, it should say Bantu. So it's a mixture of Arabic and Bantu to assist with trade along the eastern coast of Africa. Sign of weakness by me. All right, next we have Portugal. Portugal began to colonize the east coast of Africa, mainly for the purpose of trade. They conquered the major city-states of Kilwa, Sofala, Mombasa. They replaced those city-states with military forts of their own, okay, and then began to dominate the trade there. They did also, remember, on the western coast, get involved in the African slave trade, sending slaves from African civilizations to Brazil in the Americas, which was one of their colonies. Next, we had one of those tough questions today on the Almoravids and the Almohads. Here are some things to know about them. They're both Islamic reformers. So they're both looking to practice Islam. They're both very strict in their adherence to Islamic law, also known as Sharia law. And they're both inhabitants of northern Africa in what's called the Maghreb region. So they were Berber groups. They were Berbers from the Maghreb region along the north coast of Africa and the Mediterranean Sea. Since I just mentioned that north coast, let's take a look at what that was called. That's called the Maghreb. The Maghreb is the North African coast along the Mediterranean Sea. One characteristic of the Maghreb is that it was under Islamic control. Next is Ghana. Ghana, one of the first kingdoms/empires that we learned about. It was an empire of West Africa that became rich by taxing goods that traders carried through their territory. Now, eventually, they did get involved in the gold salt trade as well. I want to talk about Songhai. Songhai was once under the control of Mali, right? But then they became an independent trading power. One of the early groups that we learned about, the Efe. The Efe were our example for a forest-dwelling, hunter-gatherer society from within Africa. In the printed notes, we had a group called the Hausa. The Hausa were a West African group of city-states. They had frequent fighting and conflict with each other, which actually prevented them from becoming a powerful empire. Kilwa, very important city-state on the eastern coast of Africa. It was an important trade city, and it did control overseas trade of gold with southern Africa and participated in trade with India. Now, the people of Kilwa eventually conquered another city-state on the east coast, which was called Sofala, right? And the reason that they did that is because they wanted to control the trade of gold. Next is the city of Great Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe was a major trading city. It was located along a trading corridor. It had a 30-foot stone wall. We don't think it was for defense, though. Historians believe it was mostly there to impress visitors of the great power of Zimbabwe. However, it was also, Zimbabwe was, the economic, political, and religious center of the empire. All right, next and final point today that we're going to go over on the key terms, the figures, before we get into our AP talk and before we get into our discussion of question and answer, is the age set system. The age set system is a group of people, usually children, born in a certain area or region during a similar time period. Now, these children go through stages, they go through duties, roles, stages of life together as an age set group. I likened it in our virtual session to playing club hockey, travel hockey. Usually they group people based on the year they were born. Obviously, to play in a club hockey team, you generally have to be from the same area. So it's very similar to that. Okay. Oh, wait a second. We have a message from one of our key figures, one of our key sponsors would like to say something. Let's see. What's that? What's that I hear? Oh, you're going to like this.
Hey y'all, this here's guest speaker on Storytime with Master Lincoln. Now my name's Trapper John and I've been doing this for quite some time. I got a little clue for y'all for tomorrow's quiz on the AP portion. Now I'm going to share this riddle with you and you're going to have to listen up closely. Now here we go. The good book of blue holds the answer true. Pick it up and explore what you must adore. The sought after clue lies within. The margin of error is very thin. It's not too hard if you think again. Hey, isn't that just metacognition?
Trapper John with a special message. Maybe you have to go back and replay that one. Hopefully you had your volume up, but gave some big clues there regarding the AP portion. Okay, Trapper John, always there to help you out. All right, next we are going to go into our question and answer session. So I'm going to go to the comments. We've got 60 comments already. So we're going to take a look at the comments here. Sir Ducky's here. We got the Realm Revolution, which started against me last year. So I see those guys. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it. All right, let's see. All right, a lot of key baller members. Appreciate all of you being here tonight. We'll get to the questions here in just a second. I'm just checking out all the wonderful Realm family that are here. Don't forget to vote up if you want to get that point. All right. Oh, we got a what? Nice. Now I like that. We got a Trapper John account. That's sweet. Okay. Very cool. All right. Let's see. Some guys are saying I got to 1,000 tonight. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yes, Habibi. I think that translates to like loved ones, sweet blood, something along those lines. Yeah. Trapper John says it's all me. Awesome. All right. I'm trying to get down to these questions. I really appreciate you all. Thank you very, very much. Here we go. Here we go. Here's a real question. Awesome. What should we know for the gold salt trade besides the fact that they were the two most important items? Excellent question. So, all right, they were the most important items, but remember that West Africa had the gold mines along the Niger and Senegal rivers, whereas North Africa and the Sahara Desert had the salt mines. So the North Africans, they would trade their salt for the West Africans' gold across the Sahara Desert by using camel to cross the desert. Now, one of the other key things that we have to really take into account here is that, of course, economics has a big role here, but the preservation of food with salt was extremely important. The only way you could really preserve meat was by salting it. And so that's one of the key ideas as well there. Okay, so we mentioned two of them, gold, salt, right? Then there is a chart. It's located on page 423. It's a map, but at the top of it, it talks about major raw materials, manufactured goods that African peoples traded with and for. That would be really important, like tortoise shells, leopard skins, right? Those are some of the things that are on that chart, for example. Okay, was Mombasa conquered by Portugal and Kilwa? Yes. Mombasa, Kilwa, and Sofala, all three of those eastern coast city states, were actually taken over by Portugal, turned into military forts and trading centers for the Portuguese. Okay, yes, I will give you some insight on the short answers real quick. I would say study the chart and map on page 411 and start thinking about, hey, what are some common themes that many of these African civilizations practiced? What could we say over the course of section 1, 2, 3, the reading of topic 1.5 in AP? What would be some common themes that we could talk about that all of the civilizations generally practiced? All right. Moving on down the list. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We'll see. We'll see if they send me one. I don't know. I don't know how it works yet. I got to do some research on that, but I'm excited. Really appreciate that. Since we got 1K subs, can we have an open note quiz? I will do an open note quiz. I do one a year. It's just not this chapter. Sorry, Avery. It's going to be later on in the year. I have it in the plans, just not this chapter, okay? No, we don't do cheat sheets in the realm. Come on, Gabby the Gabby. We got to have that challenge, right? Challenges are good. Love all you. I love all of my students, though, man. I have the best students. Okay, let's see. Hausa. So, what you really want to know about Hausa is that they were city states, right? They were strong, but they just got into civil war and they started to fight against each other, which really weakened them overall. Youths and Benin. Okay, so I think you may be saying Yoruba and Benin, the artist work, right? So that's the big picture thing is how they made those metal, cast metal, and terracotta sculptures. That's really the biggest part of Yoruba and Benin. KG Cares, you're too kind. You're too kind, KG Cares. You do not have to do that. We don't have any food in the realm because it could bring some ants or something, and I'm kind of weird about that stuff. So I like to keep everything clean, but such a great thought. No, just keep being yourself, man. Much love for you. You don't have to do that, but we're in good shape. Oh, any other real questions? I went over the content about the short answers. That's all I'm going to really say there. I don't know about this one. I mean, I usually always do the short answers for sure. Yeah. Oh, we're gonna have some contentious points. I'm gonna leave it up to the poll on Instagram. I figured that was the best way to do it. We'll see what ends up happening there. Oh, my donkeys, Master Miles. Oh, Patrick, God bless you. So nice to see you on here. Appreciate your support. And yes, always be here now. And if you can do that, you'll be a champion. You're already a champion. You're already a champion, kind sir. Appreciate all of you. Uh, you want to know about Kilwa for the MCQs? Kilwa, East Coast city states, that's the big thing right there. Was Sofala only conquered by Kilwa? All right, great question. So Sofala was conquered by Kilwa originally. Then when the Portuguese come after 1488, they conquered Kilwa and Sofala and Mombasa, right? So I would say you'd have to say that, yes, it was conquered by Kilwa and then conquered again by the Portuguese. Got people asking to get out of crew. Come on now. Well, I mean, hey, Noah, sign of strength for sticking up for the future Realm family members. I just gave out everybody extra credit for the volleyball game, even though we only had 37 Realm members show up. You remember last year, you guys had over 100, huh? So it was really low support, but I still clutched up and handed out the EC. So I feel like I'm been very generous. So I gotta kind of slow it down on that, keep the challenge going. But I appreciate you. I'm making my way through the questions. I'm not. I'm just trying to get to the real questions. I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna make a whole video on it. It just needs some time. I didn't know I was gonna make it to 1,000 tonight. So definitely going to make something and put it out there. But I'm really, really fired up. So I will. Just not tonight. We got to focus on the quiz, right? Focus on the quiz. Man. Where are the real questions? Oh, here's one. All right, here we go. How many content short answers are there? Well, there are always two versions, but each version is going to be the same as far as the amount of questions. So there's going to be 2 content short answers tomorrow. Mali, really important kingdom, right? Or empire. A couple things to know about Mali. Mali involved in the great gold salt trade. They were the most prosperous. They controlled all the gold in really West Africa, shipping it to South Africa. Their gold got to the East Coast because Mansa Musa went on the Hajj, so he traveled to different places. You got to know that you got Sundiata, right? The first key Mansa. And then you got Mansa Musa, one of the wealthiest individuals of all time in the history of the world, right? He gave away so much gold in Egypt that it caused inflation. So those are some of the key things you want to know about Mali. All right, I'm still making my way down the comment section. Man, okay. How many AP questions? There's going to be MCQs and SAQs. So 3 MCQs, 1 SAQ. You know that you're going to have to write at least a paragraph for 3-part questions, right, on the SAQ. Oh my gosh, these comments are getting too funny. Oh my goodness. Well, I think we've made it through all the questions. There are some comments here, like what kind of shampoo I use and stuff like that, which I'm used to. So that doesn't faze me. But I really want to answer any real questions for the quiz. If anybody has them, don't be afraid to ask. So please put it in the comments. I'm willing to hang around for a few more minutes. And then if you don't have any real questions, if you have other questions, I'll pick and choose, which ones I want to answer and not. But I really appreciate all of you being here. And hopefully the information that I provided you with and the hint from Trapper John, will be helpful for you. How will the slavery chart you showed us in class relate to the quiz? All right. So when I showed that, obviously we know that there were different forms of slavery. So there will be questions about that. It could be something that might have an impact on the short answer, could have an impact on the AP SAQ, right? So you have a lot of openings there. But more importantly, it's going to be AP exam at the end of the year, right? So don't think just narrow-minded, think big picture toward getting ready on that final AP exam in May. I would say, Gabby, for this chapter, the maps in the actual world history patterns of interaction, the bigger book, are probably more important than the maps in AMSCO. Hey, I hope you're feeling better, dear one. I hope everything's going okay for you. But yeah, we miss you too, no doubt about it. Um, all I'm going to say is that it's related to Kilwa. So if you know kilowatts along the East Coast, right? So those eastern city states, that would be something of importance. What would be some crucial charts, maps to study in the textbook? 423, 411, right? And really any of the maps in the chapter, I would really, in the big book, I'd say any of those would be important to study. Yeah. All right. I think we're going to have to chill out in those comments. We don't want to have any rude comments. Okay. Always be kind, right? Kindness always wins. This one's an interesting one to me. Yeah. That was so funny. Literally, it's the first time I've ever seen anybody fall asleep standing up. He was hugging a blocking dummy and he rested his head on the dummy and then fell asleep. It was like I couldn't believe it. It was just Patrick. That's just all I can say is Patrick. It just was so funny. Yeah, miss seeing that guy, man. It's awesome. Can I evaluate my commercial? No, you got to think between the lines. You got to think deep. You got to think deep. You got to use your critical thinking skills. All right. So, all right, Realm family. I think that's it. We've been on for 28 minutes. I've answered many of the questions. So I want to, just want to say, remember to say thank you to your parents, right? Be respectful. Last thing I'm going to say, pray for the right things, be here now, meet the challenge. But really, I think there's been quite a few goofy things going on like the past week or two. So make sure that you're doing the right thing, right? Always do the right thing. Practice metacognition. So metacognition is thinking about how you think. So it's a form of metaphysics. Metaphysics is evaluating your thoughts. So metacognition is thinking about how you think. So when you're thinking about making a decision, what you do is you think it through. Like your parents used to tell you, hey, count to 10 before you say something. So metacognition is basically evaluating your thoughts. So it's thinking about what you're thinking about while you're thinking about what you're thinking about. So this is a really good practice to have when you're making decisions. Make good decisions. Okay. So you just want to make sure that you're thinking things through. You're not doing things that are going to get you in trouble. You're not disturbing the class. You're being respectful to your teachers, being respectful for your classmates, always choosing kindness, right? Those are the key things that I think as a realm family, we need to practice. And if we all practice that, it'll permeate. It'll be like cultural diffusion, to use a world history term. It'll spread. And I think that we need to become better leaders at doing the right thing at all times, right? So that's what I want to leave with. I want to say thank you to all of you. I love all of you. God bless. Please be safe. Pray for the right things. We'll see you tomorrow. Be here now. Don't be a Skipper McGee. And God bless all of you. Have a wonderful night.